Good evening. Kerala State Legal Services Authority and Indian Law Institute Kerala State Unit welcomes you to the celebration of the Constitution Day, Law Day. We start the function with the National Legal Services Authority theme song. National Legal Services Authority theme.
Reach them after 9 minutes. What? No, 9 seconds. 9 seconds. May I request Sri K.T. Nizar Ahmed, District Judge and Member Secretary, Kerala State Legal Services Authority, to deliver the welcome speech. Respected Honorable Mr.Justice S.Manikumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala and Patron Chief Khelsa,
Respected Honorable Mr. Justice Sri.Justice, Judge, High Court of Kerala and Executive Chairman, KELSA. Respected Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Shafiq, Judge, High Court of Kerala and Chairman, Indian Law Institute, Kerala State Unit. Respected Mr. C.P. Sudhakar Prasad, Advocate General. Respected Advocate Mr. V. Vijaykumar, Assistant Solicitor General of India. Respected Advocate Mr. R. Lakshmi Narayan, President, High Court Advocates Association. Respected Advocate Mrs. S.K. Devi, President, Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers. Respected Advocate Mr. Unnikrishnan, Secretary, Indian Law Institute, Kerala State Unit. Respected Lordship, Anu Shivaraman, Registrar General Sophie Ma'am, Executive Council members of the Indian Law Institute, judges of the High Courts, judges of the subordinate judiciary, members of KELSA, advocates, mediators, paralegal volunteers, staff of High Court, staff of legal service institutions who are watching this program, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening for one and all. Let me start by reading the preamble of our Constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. As this last year, this program is arranged with the partnership of Indian Law Institute. As directed by NALSA, National Legal Services Authority, the legal services institution in the state had conducted a year-long program based on fundamental duties. All the DLSS and TLSs were engaged in awareness programs in online platform during this pandemic period. KELSA is striving hard with its limited resources to fulfill its constitutional obligations, that is, free legal aid, legal awareness, and Lok Adalat, even during this COVID-19 pandemic period. With these few words, let me enter into my duty. His Lordship Justice S.Manikumar, Chief Justice and Patron Chief KELSA, is always taking keen interest in the activities of KELSA. His Lordship always upholds the constitutional values by giving importance to the poor, downtrodden, and marginalized, and this is evident from His Lordship judicial orders. His Lordship has kindly consented to deliver the Constitutional Day message and to inaugurate the website and YouTube channel of Indian Law Institute. With utmost respect, I extend a warm welcome to His Lordship. His Lordship Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Executive Chairman of KELSA, is presiding in this function. His Lordship is the guiding force of KELSA. His Lordship's novel ideas and concern for the poor and marginalized can be seen from the judicial orders and actions of His Lordship. As directed by His Lordship, we have provided reading materials to the COVID-19 treatment centers, FLTC, across the state. With utmost respect, I extend a warm welcome to His Lordship. His Lordship Justice A.M. Shafiq, the President of Indian Law Institute, Kerala State Unit, is delivering the keynote address. It was His Lordship's letter that led the Honorable High Court to take a suo motu OP on the basis of the letter sent by the students of a school at Mlamala, Vandiperiyar, Idiki. As directed by the then Executive Chairman Adalat and given a report. There, the Honorable High Court has directed the government to construct 2 bridges within 18 months on the request of the children of that school. I would like to inform Your Lordship that the work has already started and the temporary bridge has already been completed and opened to the public. With utmost respect, I extend a warm welcome to His Lordship. C.P. Sudhakar Prasad, Advocate General, is delivering the special address. He actively participating in the every programs of KELSA. I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Advocate Mr. P. Vijaykumar, Assistant Solicitor General of India. Advocate Sri Lakshmi Narayan, President Kerala High Court Advocates Association, and Advocate Mrs. S.K. Devi, President Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, are felicitating this function. I extend a warm welcome to you all, sir. Advocate Unnikrishnan, the Secretary of Indian Law Institute State Unit, is anchoring this function and also delivering the vote of thanks. I extend a warm welcome to my friend Unnikrishnan. The Additional Advocate General is present here. I welcome. Registrar General Sophie Ma'am is here. I welcome Ma'am. Members, Executive Council members of the ILI are present here. I welcome you all. Honorable Judges of the High Court, the Registrars of the High Court, members of KELSA, the entire Judicial Office of the State, advocates, panel lawyers, mediators, paralegal volunteers, staff of the High Court and subordinate courts, and staff of legal service institutions are attending this program online. The Member Secretary of NALSA and Member Secretaries of SLSS of other states are also attending this function online. I extend a warm welcome to you all. Once again, I welcome you all to this function. Thank you. Jai Hind.
May I now request Honorable Sri.Justice C.Manikumar, Judge High Court of Kerala and Executive Chairman of the Kerala State Legal Services Authority to deliver the presidential address.
Good evening to all. We are celebrating a prestigious event in the history of India that took place about 71 years ago. The Indian Constitution was adopted by the Constitutional Assembly on 26th day of November 1949. When we speak of a constitution, it will not be inappropriate to refer to a decision of the Honorable Apex Court in Goodyear, India versus State of Haryana. There the Apex Court held, there is a decision rendered by the Apex Court in 1990 as Supreme Court 781. The Apex Court held that Constitution is not to be construed as a mere law, but as the machinery by which laws are made. The Constitution is a living and organic thing, which of all instruments is the greatest claim to be construed broadly and liberally. The Constitution, in its preamble, it declares that it has been given by the people to themselves. Then it will be a paradox if a citizen says that I do not know what exactly is my fundamental right, what exactly is my fundamental duty. I am speaking about the necessity to, rather the need to, educate on Constitution. When speaking about the same, that necessity, I think that it is only appropriate to borrow the expression of Sri Alladi Kuppuswamy, former Chief Justice of Andhra Pradesh. In one of the valuable contributions to Indian constitutional literature, namely the book Constitution, What It Means to the People, he observed, I quote, "The preamble to the Constitution emphasizes the fact that it is a work of the people of India, and Constitution loses all its meaning if it is not understood by the people. That is why I said it is high time to educate on Constitution. If you put a question to someone, what exactly is the basic structure of India, structure of the Constitution, you may not be getting the correct answer. If you are asking a question to someone, what are your fundamental rights? Same may be the situation. He may not be knowing. And then, what are your fundamental duties? No doubt, he may not be knowing that. It is high time for us to make an endeavor to educate, especially the children. And The legal services authorities, constituted under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1977, got an important role to play in this matter. Because it is the object of this enactment is to ensure that opportunities for securing justice is not denied to any citizen. And if someone is actually denied an opportunity, or rather justice, if he is ignorant about the constitutional provisions, how he could realize himself that I have been deprived of an opportunity or deprived of justice. So on this day, let us make an individual or take a pledge that the legal services authorities should make an endeavor to educate the citizens, especially the children, on Constitution, especially what is the preamble, the fundamental duties, the fundamental rights. Up to January 2020, 104 amendments have been made. Of course, the first one was in 1950, and the latest one, of course, you know that whereby the reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, it has been extended in legislative assemblies and in Lok Sabha. Such amendments have been made invoking the power under Article 368. Then we know that if an amendment is made and if it violates or breaks the basic structure, it would be invalidated. There lies the question, the importance of the question, how will you realize that the basic structure is violated? Therefore, to know what is basic structure, what is our fundamental right, what is our fundamental duty, it is high time for us to make an endeavor to educate more particularly the citizens, more particularly the children. And I think that the Kerala Legal Services Authority would make such an endeavor. And that is my message on this occasion. Thank you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I kindly request the Honorable the Chief Justice, Sri.Justice S.Manikumar, Patron-in-Chief, Kerala State Legal Services Authority, and President, Indian Law Institute, Kerala State Unit, to deliver the Constitution Day message and also to launch the website and YouTube channel of the Indian Law Institute.
Brother Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Executive Chairman, Kerala State Legal Service Authority. Brother Justice Shafiq, Executive Chairman, Indian Law Institute. Sister Anu Sivaraman, Judge, High Court of Kerala. My esteemed brother and sister judges, Mr. C.P. Sudhakar Prasad, Learned Advocate General. Mr. Ranjit Thamban, Learned Additional Advocate General. Mr. P. Vijay Kumar, Learned Assistant Solicitor General of India. Mr. Lakshminarayanan, President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association. Srimati S.K. Devi, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers. Learned Senior Advocates and Executive Committee members of the Kerala State Unit ILI. Mr. Unnikrishnan, Secretary, Indian Law Institute. Mr. Nizar Ahmad, Member Secretary, Kerala, KELSA. Learned judicial officers who are watching this program, Registrar General and other registrars of this court, learned lawyers, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. We celebrate the Constitution Day on 26th November every year to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India on the very same day in 1949 by the Constituent Assembly of India. We all know that the Constitution has come into effect on 26 January 1950. On the occasion of the 30th anniversary of this momentous event, in 1979, the Honorable Supreme Court began to observe this day as the National Law Day. In 2015, in connection with the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chief architect of the Constitution, the Government of India decided to celebrate the day as Constitutional Day as a fitting tribute to Dr. Ambedkar, who, as the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly, had shaped the supreme document for India. In the land of diversities, the Constitution, in all its majesty, proved to the warp and weft of the social fabric of the largest democracy in the world. Through the Constitution of India, we, the people of India, have resolved to ourselves to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic, and to secure justice, liberty, and equality for all citizens, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. As we celebrate the Constitution Day to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India on 26th of November every year, to promote the Constitution values among the citizens, let's have a brief history as to how the Constitution of India was framed. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held on 9th December 1946, and 13 committees for framing the Constitution, including a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, were set up, and it took nearly 2 years to adopt the Constitution. Before adoption of the Constitution of India, the Constituent Assembly was engaged in multiple redraftings of our Constitution, and this laborious process finally came to a conclusion toward the end of 1949. 200 dedicated members of different castes, creed, and religion, representing various regions of the country, sat over 144 days, spread over a period of 3 years, and deliberated the issues in detail. Thus, Constitution of India was drafted by taking into account historical perspective, geographical diversity, cultural, religion, and traditional characteristics of India. Our Constitution has the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity as adopted by the French Constitution. The concept of fundamental rights and fundamental duties and 5-year plans as envisaged in the Constitution of USSR. The concept of procedure established by law from the Constitution of Japan, and the idea of suspension of fundamental rights during the emergency rule from the Weimar Constitution of Germany. Constitution of India is the supreme law of our country, and it lays down the framework demarcating the fundamental political code, structure, procedures, powers and duties of the government institution, and sets out, among others, the fundamental duties required to be followed by every citizen of India. While the Constitution of India prescribed the fundamental obligation of the states to its citizens, the fundamental duties of the citizens, which are envisaged under Article 51A, or the codification of the task of integral way of life of every citizen. The preamble of the Constitution of India is inspired by the preamble of the Constitution of the United States, which also commences with the words, "We, the people." The fundamental rights as enshrined in Article 12 to 35 in Chapter 3 of the Constitution of India provide safeguarding the liberty and dignity of a citizen. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru described the same as the conscience of the Constitution. Fundamental rights in Part 3 are the means and the directive principles in Part 4 are the essential ends in a welfare state. The touchstone of the supreme law is that the people of India are the ultimate custodians of the Constitution of India. Constitution of India empowers the citizens of India and casts a duty on them to protect and preserve the same by strict adherence. Though there were 104 amendments to the Constitution of India, the greatness of our Constitution of India is that the basic structure remains the same. The Supreme Court of India and the High Courts all over the country have time and again have played a vital role in ensuring that the fundamental rights are guaranteed to each and every citizen of India, and also in giving beneficial interpretation to protect the law, the life and liberty of the individuals through their innumerable judgments. On this day, let us envision India as a welfare state, upholding the constitutional values, safeguarding the fundamental rights of the citizens, and the citizens also discharge their obligations to the state in right perspective. Let our nation bloom to be a developed state in the near future with a cherished goal of a welfare state, fulfilling the dreams of our framers of our Constitution. The chairman and principal architect of the Constitution of India said, I quote, "Constitution is not a lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age." While remembering our framers of the Constitution of India on this day, we shall resolve to uphold the constitutional principles and values and deeds to secure justice, liberty, equality for all citizens, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. I must express my sincere thanks to Brother Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Executive Chairman, Kerala State Legal Service Authority, and Brother Justice A.M. Shafiq, Executive Chairman, Indian Law Institute, to have given me this opportunity to address on this very memorable day in our life, because all of us at some point of time have taken a constitutional oath while at the time of our enrollment and also as a judge. I'm also happy to note that the Legal Services Authority has taken up several programs as regards the awareness so far as fundamental duties are concerned. In lighter vein, I can only say, Brother Justice C.T. Ravikumar remarked that go and ask a citizen, this is only in lighter vein, I must take it, you should not take it in heart, is that go and ask a citizen as whether he knows what is basic structure of the Constitution. I put it across to my own fellow men as to whether this will be a difficult question to answer. Am I right, sir? Yes. We all talk about our fundamental rights. Kerala, when I came here, I found that the litigation is on the higher side because of the awareness of the rights. But as he rightly put it, that are they aware of the duties? Exclusively, I think, with reference to the constitutional duties, I can't say any other duty. If you see Article 51A, I would request the Legal Service Authority to take it forward. And with reference to Article 51A, what the Constitution says about our fundamental duties. It may not be very elaborately explained, unlike in fundamental rights, but what are our legal obligations, our moral obligations, so far as the Constitution and the duties to be discharged in achieving our constitutional goal, which is more elaborate or is stated in the preamble portion of it, justice. I always said that why the Constitution has used the word justice first. We resolved ourselves to have so and so and so, but justice is the first word which is used. Therefore, justice was not there in respect of so many areas. It's not there in social area, and it's not there in economic area, and that is why the Constitution thought it fit, the framers thought it fit, that we must try to achieve justice in respect of all these areas. And ultimately, the Constitution framers have also used the word, it's very important, fraternity. And maintaining the dignity of an individual, fraternity should be there. To achieve this, from 1949 onwards, people have been seeing litigation, and there are so many issues relating to religion, caste, creed, etc. Unless and until people are educated in respect of the constitutional duties, as he rightly pointed out, we may not be able to achieve our constitutional obligations. That is, whatever resolution we have done on 26th November, and we are yet to achieve this. So I request the Member Secretary NALSA to take up this issue very seriously with reference to Article 15(1)(a), and it should be in connection with achieving the resolutions which you have done in 1949. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And there is one more program you address first and then we'll do it simultaneously. So far as this website has to be released now. Okay. With the prime objective of cultivating and promoting the science of law and to contribute in reforming the administration of justice substantially, the Indian Law Institute was founded in 1956 in order to meet the socio-economic aspirations and the needs of the people through law and its instrumentalities. The institute is an international institute, center for advanced socio-legal research, and has done significant work in the field of legal education and training, and made significant contribution in the legal arena. Adding feather to the cap, the Law Institute has been granted deemed university status in 2004 by the Government of India. With the broad objectives of systematization of law, promotion of legal education, and other allied works, the Institute undertakes publication of studies, treatises, books, periodicals, reports, and other literature relating to law and allied fields, and also undertakes documentation of important legal and allied materials. While celebrating the Constitutional Day, I am extremely glad that the Kerala State Unit of the Indian Law Institute has created a website for giving information about the objectives and functioning of the Indian Law Institute. The website would reflect the functioning of the Indian Law Institute. I sincerely thank the efforts of the Kerala ILI unit to bring it to the public domain of all the information relating to the objectives and the functioning of the Indian Institute and take it forward. Today, a YouTube channel is also being launched, facilitating access to the public for viewing various programs of the Indian Law Institute. As President of the Indian Law Institute, I have immense pleasure in launching the website and YouTube channel of the Indian Law Institute Kerala unit. I sincerely thank Justice Shafi, Secretary of the Indian Law Institute, senior advocates and members of the Kerala State ILI unit for bringing out a website for the benefit of the lawyers, and lawyers, students, and the general public. Thank you.
May I now request the Honorable the Chief Justice to launch the website of the Indian Law Institute, Kerala State Unit. Thank you, sir. Now, with the permission of the President, there is a slight deviation from the printed program. We are honoring an Indian record holder. Kumari Reshma Ramachandran learned the rudiments of engraving on lead pencils from the social media, and within 3 months of laborious hard work, she now has an Indian record of her own. Her name is now entered in the Indian Book of Records. Reshma Ramachandran has carved the preamble of the Constitution of India in 18 lead pencils. She took 6 hours to finish the engraving process. Reshma, who stays in Tripura, is a postgraduate degree holder in mathematics. This achievement of hers was reported in almost all the daily newspapers. While we are celebrating the Law Day, Kerala State Legal Services Authority and Indian Law Institute are very proud to honor Reshma Ramachandran. I request the Honorable the Chief Justice to do the honors.
It's a wonderful thought of the Indian Law Institute to honor a person, though who's a mathematician, has conceived the preamble of the Constitution in her mind and had taken pains to engrave the same in pencil. That's really a good work, and Institute has rightly taken the initiative to appreciate her. I can only say on this day, though people of Kerala and as well as the High Court is very proud to have a maths student engraving Constitution on pencil, and by this time it must have been engraved in her mind also. And I wish that you should not stop with the Indian award. I wish on behalf of the High Court that your work should be recognized in the Guinness record as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May I now request Honorable Sri.Justice A.M. Shafiq, Judge High Court of Kerala and Executive Chairman of the Indian Law Institute, to deliver the keynote address.
He is in a hurry, it seems. Good afternoon, all of you. Respected Chief Justice Sri S.Manikumar, esteemed brother Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Sister Anu Shivaraman, other honorable judges who are watching this program, the Advocate General Sri C.P. Sudhakar Prasad, Additional Advocate General Sri Ranjit Tamban, Sri Vijay Kumar, Additional Assistant Solicitor General of India, Sri Lakshmi Narayanan, President Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Srimati S.K. Devi, President Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, Senior Advocates, Lawyers, who are members of our Executive Council, Registrar of the High Court, other judges and other dignitaries who are watching this program, ladies and gentlemen. I am asked to render the keynote address. Virtually, what our constitution should be and how it has to be considered have already been rendered by our Chief Justice as well as esteemed brother Justice Ravikumar. However, let me start with the keynote address with a quote from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age. A wonderful quote. I am unquoting it. At a time when our country faced extraordinary challenges during the post-independent period, the Constituent Assembly was convened to draft a constitution which would suit our nation, a nation of diversity in the form of language, race, caste, and class. It is after referring to the experience of other nations who had drafted the constitution, their experience, an attempt was made to create a constitution suitable to our aspirations, conditions, and challenges, and to combat the inequalities and injustice in our society. Our Constitution therefore made provisions to prohibit discrimination by the state on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, and guaranteed freedom of religion, abolished untouchability, and protected civil and political liberties. It is not merely a set of articles and schedules. Constitution is a transformative constitution, as the provisions are concerned with the fulfillment of our social and economic justice for all the citizens and promises governance through rule of law. Constitution by and large envisages governance by the people through an elected body. The three arms of governance, legislature, executive, and the judiciary, will have to work within their constitutional framework, keeping in mind the doctrine of separation of powers, and ensure to the citizens that the promises and guarantees of the Constitution are reflected in practice. Judiciary, like other arms of the governance, has to ensure to the citizens that they are not deprived of their civil and constitutional rights. Our courts, through its judgments on various constitutional issues, have constantly tried to make our nation more responsive and more democratic. Constitution is the backbone of the society, and the changing world, the Constitution has to show more dynamism, of course keeping in mind the basic structure doctrine. I'll just quote a paragraph in Puttasami's case rendered by in a separate judgment of Justice Chalameshwar. Quote, "The Constitution of any country reflects the aspirations and goals of the people of that country, voiced through the language of the few chosen individuals entrusted with the responsibility of framing its constitution. Such aspirations and goals depend upon the history of that society. History invariably is a product of various forces emanating from religious, economic, and political events. However, various forces which go into the making of history are dynamic. Those who are entrusted with the responsibility of the working of the Constitution must necessarily keep track of the dynamics of such forces." Unquote. All of us will have to dedicate ourselves to ensure compliance of the constitutional mandate and protection of marginalized members of the society. This is not a day to remember the framers of the Constitution alone. This day we remember with pride the wonderful men and women who led the freedom struggle for us, sacrificed their lives. This day we salute those men and women who fought for upholding the dignity of the citizens of this country. This day we remember those eminent jurists and judges who interpreted the constitutional scheme and upheld the fundamental principles enunciated, especially the basic structure doctrine. This day we remember those men and women who advocate for the upliftment of the marginalized section of the society. This day we remember those men and women who raised their voices for upholding the fundamental rights of citizens, and those men and women who put their life at stake to uphold the constitutional principles and values. We all know that presently we are living in a changing world. A pandemic has struck and the world, and still we are waiting for a cure. We also have devised various methods for filing cases and also for hearing the matters through virtual mode. And slowly we are adapting to such a situation. So just like the change that is emanating in the world on account of various uncertainties, our Constitution permits sufficient dynamism to keep up with the ever-changing world and may call for change of ideas for the benefit of citizens. Apparently, this day we have to take into consideration to remember to what extent we can have that this living constitution a more attractive constitution to render justice to the citizenry of this country. Wishing a bright future to our citizens, I conclude my address by quoting Dr. B.R. Ambedkar once again. He said, "So long as you do not achieve social liberty, whatever freedom is provided by the law is no avail to you." Unquote. Today we have also, the Chief Justice had already inaugurated a website of Indian Law Institute. Indian Law Institute, last year you all know we have done several programs, but on account of this pandemic, we are unable to have sufficient programs, but still we are trying to improve on a situation taking into account the present situation. This launching of the website and also having a YouTube channel are all matters or which we are, is only a step forward to achieving our targets. We thank, I especially thank our Secretary and other Executive Council members of this ILI for having participated in this program and also to have rendered sufficient assistance for development of this website and YouTube channel. We also, I may also thank the Technical Project Manager of IT Section High Court, Sri Ishaq KV, and also the Software Technical Lead IT Section High Court, Srimati Subhaji Krishnan, to have rendered sufficient assistance to us to enable us to launch this website today. Thanking you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I now call upon Sri C.P. Sudhakara Prasad, Advocate General of Kerala, to deliver the special address on this occasion.
Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice S.Manikumar, giving Constitutional Day message. Honorable Justice Sri.Justice, present at this meeting. Honorable Mr. A.M. Shafiq, delivering the keynote address. Honorable Srimati Anu Shivaraman, Mr. Ranjit Amban, Additional Director General, Mr. P. Vijaykumar, Assistant Solicitor of India, Mr. S.Manikumar, President Kerala High Court Advocate Association, Srimati S.K. Devi, President Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, Registrar General and other registrars, advocate friends, Mr. K.C. Nisar Ahmad, District Judge and Member Secretary, Mr. Unnikrishnan, Secretary, Indian Law Institute, other dignitaries and ladies and gentlemen participate in the function. It was in the last lectures of the 19th century. India's freedom was still in a distant dream. That first attempts were made to frame Constitution for the independent India. Historians have recorded that Constitution of India Bill, containing 11 articles in it, was the first constitutional document that was visualized and attempted for the country. Even though information as to who authored the document was not known, as Swaraj Bill, it is revealed in it. It is believed that Sri Balagangara Tilak, the legendary figure of Indian freedom movement, that gave leadership to preparing the same. The Swaraj Bill, prepared after thorough and study of the then known constitutions of other countries, including that of the United States of America and Brazil, contained provisions for protecting the individual and political rights of other citizens, as also guaranteeing to them freedom of expression, freedom of conscience, freedom to profess and practice religion, freedom of worship, equal justice, right of franchise, and protection from illegal prosecutions and punishments. The fact that such provisions were included in Swaraj Bill at a time when there was not even a remote possibility of bringing forth such a document, since country was still under British rule, points the profound and creative way of thinking of the then political leaders of the country. This is now part of history. Freedom struggle moved on, passing through different stages until it was in the British Parliament passed the Indian Independence Act 1947, giving independence to India. The Constitutional Assembly framed thereafter and enacted the Indian Constitution and adopted the same on 26 November 1949. In his memorable speech delivered in the Constitutional Assembly on 14 August 1947, passionately referring to the twist of destiny in India made long years back, Jawaharlal Nehru visualized the dawn when the soul of the nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. It was about 2 years and 3 months thereafter that on 26 November 1949, we the people of India in our Constituent Assembly adopted and enacted and gave to ourselves a Constitution. In the preamble of the Constitution declares the vibrant values of cherished ideas visualized by the people of India, namely constituting India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, securing to all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, as envisaged thereunder. About 3 decades after such adoption of the Constitution by the Constituent Assembly, it was decided the Supreme Court Bar Association to celebrate 26 November every year as National Law Day to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution. However, the day was later declared as Constitution Day by the Government of India by a Gazette notification issued November 19, 2015. Since then, the Law Day was being celebrated in this country as Constitution Day. Going by the scheme of the Constitution, the mighty edifice of the Indian constitutional democracy rests in 3 equally strong pillars, namely the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Though all the 3 are equally powerful organs of the state, keeping stability to the country's governance by the exercise of mutual checks and balances in a way, the coercive role assigned to judiciary by the Constitution by conferring it the power of judicial review over the acts of executive and legislature makes it custodian of the Constitution with mandate of as a watchdog, preventing any legislative or executive act from overstepping the constitutional bounds. The Indian Constitution declares the constitutional supremacy and as the basic tenet of the country's governance. In his celebrated treatise, The Common Laws, Chief Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote, the law embodies the story of nation's development through many centuries. It is particularly so in the Constitution of India, the supreme legal document and the fundamental political code of this country, in which in his legendary speech considered to be the marvel of oratory made in the eve of independence, Jawaharlal Nehru said, at the dawn of history of India started on her unending quest, and trackless centuries are filled with her striving and grandeur of her success and failures. Though good and ill fortunes alike, she has never sought of the quest of forgotten the ideals which give the strength. The two cardinal principles that form the basic of Indian Constitution are among others the rule of law and the independence judiciary. These have their roots and magnificent ideals. With the words of Nehru, India has never lost sight or forgotten. Fully comprehending the phenomenal quality of the sublime ideal Supreme Court of India had acted for the past about 7 decades, upholding the constitutional values and principles, coping with the incremental and exponential challenges over the national life. In the case of Jadaram, led by LR and others, as Union of India others, reported in 2015, 5 years the Supreme Court held, the welfare state denotes a concept of government in which the state plays a key role in the protection and promotion of the economic and social well-being of all citizens, which may include equitable distribution of wealth and equal opportunities and public responsibilities for all those who are unable to avail themselves minimal provisions for a decent life. The socialist ethos envisaged in the Constitution find its full luminous expression in these words of the Apex Court. The independence judiciary is one of the central themes in our Constitution and guiding principles and philosophy of it, which judges are bound to uphold fearlessly and impartially. But when the question of sticking to for these principles arise, at least some members of judiciary seem to be confused of thinking that independence judiciary means no political inclination. In so doing, they are forgetting the fact that our Constitution, which the judges are bound to uphold, is expressly socialist and secular, and therefore to have a socialist commitment is their very constitutional obligation, disowning which may amount to violation of their oath. The judges functioning under the Constitution necessarily have to share the political philosophy of the Constitution. During the several decades of the later half of the 20th century and the short span of 21st century that has now elapsed, radical changes and developments have taken place both within and without the country, with their tremendous impacts on the social life of this nation. Now we live at a turning point in the human history. From beyond the nation's economic and technical forces all over the globe are compelling the word towards integration. It is a measure of maturity of our democracy that notwithstanding our economic difficulties, we are able to cope with these situations. As that valiant fighter of constitutional values, the late Justice Schneier wrote, "The right to development is itself a human right to secure the dignity of the individual, to ensure environmental preservation, to guarantee that governance is not arbitrary, and to make the rule of law from an individual to the community angle to real reflections of the parameters of Constitution. The new outlooks and perspectives in the fields of human life, ecology and environment, gender justice, juvenile rights, etc. have projected important and varying problems in national life, giving birth to new and hitherto unknown legal issues and situations. The constitution courts of this country have arisen to the occasion, devising and molding answers to the solutions to them. resorting to the methods of purposive interpretation of the provisions of the Constitution. Referring to the landmark judgment delivered in the Supreme Court in the Keshavananda case that deals with power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution and to extend and the region up to which the Parliament can go on availing the powers of conferred under Article 368 of the Constitution in this regard. The Constituent Assembly, quoting Jefferson as the great American statesman, Dr. Ambedkar said, "We may consider each generation as a distinct nation with rights by the will of the majority to bound themselves, but none is bound by the succeeding generations more than inhabitants of another country." In Keshavananda case, Justice Hegde and Justice Mukherjee said, on a careful consideration of the various aspects of the case, we are convinced that Parliament has no power to abrogate, emasculate the basic structure, basic elements of the fundamental features of our Constitution, such as sovereignty of India, democratic character of our polity, unity of a country, essential features of individual freedoms secured by the citizens, thus ruling that amendment of the Constitution cannot destroy or tinker with the immutable basic structures or framework of the Constitution. Supreme Court has always risen to the situation, defending the Constitution and protecting the rights of the people emanating from it. It will not be out of place in this context to mention a vital problem that confronts the Indian judiciary today, that is mounting areas. Today our judges are overworked since proportion to number of courts bears with the population is far too low in our country. We have to find practical ways and devise legal methods to solve it. Due to constraint of time, I am not entering into this. Today, the nation is venerably remembers the founding fathers of our Constitution and pay their reverential respects before their fond memory. This is the time for us to take a solemn pledge that we will, in letter and spirit, stick steadfast to the constitutional ideas and will spare no efforts to protect and preserve the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Sri P. Kumar, Assistant Solicitor General of India, High Court of Kerala, to deliver the felicitation speech.
Honorable Chief Justice Sri.Manikumar, Honorable Justice Sri.Ravikumar, Honorable Justice Sri Shafiq, Honorable Justice Srimati Anushivaraman, Respected Advocate General Sri C.P. Sudhagar Prasad, Respected Sister Advocate Srimati Devi, Dear Sri Lakshmi Narayan, Dear Sri Unnikrishnan and Sri Nisar Anwar, Member Secretary. Namaskaram. This is a memorable day when we are celebrating the 71st birthday of our Constitution, which was formalized on 26/11/1949. The process of delivery of Constitution itself had been legendary, with involvement of great legal luminaries and patriotic social activists under the teamwork of great Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, to prepare a constitution reflecting the great values cherished by our ancient nation and the great aspirations of independent India. Our nation, which is one of the oldest nations of the world, can claim a great heritage and tradition. Though the Constitution was drafted substantially in the lines of Western and federal democratic sector, the great national values of tolerance and acceptance of different faiths, respect to dignity of humanity and human values, and the concept of unity in diversity had been ingrained in the Constitution to suit the advancement of free India with values in individual and social spheres of life. The keynote address and special addresses rendered by the dignitaries had referred to the salient features of our Constitution and on the need of the hour, which are not exhaustive. Having been gifted with such a complete Constitution in contents and spirit, it is a paramount responsibility of us, the citizens, to ensure that the values enshrined in the Constitution are maintained to the highest degree of expectation in all walks of national life. In spite of being in the midst of many uninspiring developments we find around in social and political life, the pillar of judiciary remains a credible institution, promising to ensure the smooth working of the Constitution. So we should be proud to be part of this great institution of judiciary. Above all, let us remain proud to be the citizens of this great nation and the children of Mother India, that is Bharat. I remain thankful for extending this occasion to address this August session on this momentous day with these few words of felicitation. I may be permitted to wind up. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. May I kindly request Sri R. Lakshminarayan, President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, to deliver the felicitation speech.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice S.Manikumar, Honorable Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Honorable Justice Sri A.M. Shafiq, Honorable Justice Anu Shivaraman, other honorable judges watching this program online, respected Advocate General C.P. Sudhakara Prasad, Assistant Solicitor General P. Vijay Kumar, Srimati S.K. Devi, President of the Federation of Women Lawyers, respected District Judge Sri K.T. Nizar Ahmed, and his Member Secretary Kelsa, my dear friend Advocate G. Unnikrishnan, Secretary Indian Law Institute, Kerala State Unit, respected Additional Advocate General Ranjit Tamban, respected Registrar General Srimati Sophie Thomas, other respected registrars, respected senior advocate, my lawyer friends, and ladies, gentlemen, and other dignitaries watching this online. We are today commemorating the day when we gave ourselves the Constitution. The vision of our Constitution and the values it cherishes are abundantly reflected in the preamble and Chapter 3 as well as Chapter 4 of the Constitution. Today, when we celebrate this day, we must realize that the members of the legal fraternity who work closely with the Constitution and the laws, we have a duty to ensure that the mechanism as envisaged under the Constitution work properly to bring fruitful result to the country and its citizenry. However good a Constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad, because those who are called to work it happens to be a bad lot, warned Dr. Ambedkar, the architect of our Constitution. In his speech in the concluding session of the Constituent Assembly, I quote, "The Constitution can provide only organs of state such as legislature, executive, and judiciary. The factors on which the working of those organs of the state depends are the people and political parties they will set up as their instruments to carry out their wishes and their politics," unquote. While moving the First Amendment in the year 1951 before the Parliament, our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had warned against portraying the Constitution as sacred and sacrosanct. According to him, though the Constitution must not be made a plaything of some fickle thought or fickle fortune, but a Constitution to be living must be a growing, must be adaptable, must be flexible, must be changeable. Judiciary has always been sentinel on the qui vive of the citizen. Many laws and executive actions have been held as unconstitutional by the constitutional courts in our country. It is important for the executive and the legislature to remember that they are equally bound by the Constitution and should not make laws that take away the precious right
it has given to the people. They ought to remember that the provisions of the Constitution about the fundamental rights are nothing but the obligation on their part to act fairly, impartially, and justly towards the people. Finally, we must remember that what prevails is constitutional supremacy, and all organs created by the Constitution should work within the realms of power conferred on them by the Constitution. Survival and success of constitutionalism largely depend upon the realization that constitutional morality is no less essential than constitutional legality. By celebrating the Constitution Day, let us hope that our pursuit of fulfilling the vision of the makers of the Constitution and the constitutional values through a democratic polity foster. I, on behalf of the Kerala High Court Advocate Association, wish every success to the Indian Law Institute website and YouTube launched today by my Lord the Chief Justice, as well as the other programs and activities of KELSA, as well as the Indian Law Institute Kerala State, including those in connection with the Constitution Day. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Lakshmi Narayan. May I request Srimati S.K. Devi, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, to deliver the felicitation speech.
Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. S.Manikumar, Honorable Mr. Justice C.T. Kumar, Honorable Mr. Shafiq, Learned Advocate General C.P. Sudhakar Prasad, Member Secretary and District Judge Mr. Nisar Ahmad, Honorable Judge Srimati Anu Sivaraman, Additional AG Mr. Ranjit Tamban, Additional Solicitor General Mr. Vijay Kumar, Association President Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, Mr. Unni Krishnan, and all other dignitaries before me, especially Resma Ramendran, and all those who are watching this on the Zoom. We are here as part of the celebration of Constitution Day. On 26th November 1949, Constituent Assembly of India formally adopted the Constitution of India. However, it was partial adoption. The members of the Constitution Assembly signed 2 handwritten copies of the document, one in Hindi and another in English, on 24th January 1950. 2 days later, that is on 26th January, the full adoption came into effect. January 26th was chosen because Purna Swaraj resolution of Indian National Congress was declared on that day in 1930. The handwritten copies of the Indian Constitution are kept in special helium-filled cases in the Library of Parliament of India. Indian Constitution is absorbed best from a number of sources like previous legislation, and as our Chief Justice told here, as from the other constitutions of other countries. In 2015 was the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee. The Constituent Assembly. The Government of India decided to celebrate the year in a big way. As part of the celebration, while laying the foundation of Ambedkar Statue of Equality Memorial in Mumbai on 11th October 2015, the Prime Minister of India made a declaration to celebrate November 26 as Constitution Day, aiming to promote constitutional values among the citizens. Till that time, it is celebrated as National Law Day. To make awareness of the Constitution, government adopted various methods. For the students, the Department of Higher Education requested various universities to arrange mock parliamentary debates in all the colleges to read the preamble of the Constitution in schools. The Ministry of External Affairs directed the embassies to translate the Constitution in local language of that nation and distribute it to various academies, libraries, and faculties of Indiology. In spite of various efforts are taken by government and other institutions, the aim could not be fully achieved till today. For example, the Legal Services Authority for the last more than 3 decades doing commendable work, but still today a large number of people are ignorant of free legal, even the free legal aid. We can hope that the aim can be achieved without much delay. And from the website and the YouTube today inaugurated, and I hope that it will be very helpful for the lawyers and the ordinary men and ordinary people also. I take this opportunity to place my thanks to the Legal Services Authority as well as the Indian Institute of Law to give me this opportunity. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, madam. On behalf of the Indian Law Institute and Kerala State Legal Services Authority, I wholeheartedly thank the Honorable the Chief Justice for delivering the Constitution Day message and for launching the website and YouTube channel of the Indian Law Institute. My sincere thanks goes to Honorable Sri.Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Honorable Sri.Justice A.M. Shafiq, Sri C.P. Sudhakara Prasad, Advocate General, Sri P. Vijay Kumar, Assistant Solicitor General of India, Sri R. Lakshmi Narayan, President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, and Srimati S.K. Devi, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, for attending this function and sharing their valuable views. I also thank Honorable Srimati Justice Anu Shivaram, who is also the Executive Council member of Indian Law Institute, for having graced this function, and those honorable judges who are watching the live stream of this program. I also thank the former judges of this honorable court who are also watching the live stream. I thank Mrs. Sophie Thomas, the Registrar General, Mr. Renjit Tamban, Additional Advocate General, Senior Advocate Sri George Cherian, Sri V.V. Ashokan, Advocates V.M. Shyamkumar and Dr. K.P. Pradeep, who are the Executive Council members of the Indian Law Institute who are present here. I wholeheartedly thank the respected members of the Kerala Judiciary, the respected senior advocates and other respected lawyers of the legal fraternity, the law officers of the state, the respected members of the Legal Services Authority in the state and outside the state, the members of the High Court staff, the members of the Clerks Association, the law students of various universities and colleges, and all other persons who are watching the live streaming of this function. I thank Sri K.T. Nizar Ahmed, District Judge and Member Secretary, Kelsa, the officers of this Honorable Court and of the Kerala Legal Services Authority who are present here. I should really thank Kumari Reshma Ramachandran for having accepted our invitation and have come over here with her mother. I also thank the IT section and all the persons who have worked with her to make this function a success. Thank you. May I now request all to kindly rise for the national anthem.